Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Fenton Forest Farm. Now, we're standing here at the edge of field number 9, which we do not actually field number 9 or no field number 7, which we do not own yet, but it belongs to a Mr. White, and he basically wants to sell this field and we want to buy it, and we also probably want to buy field number 9 as well, as we've talked about in the previous episode. And of course we can't afford both this particular year, but I think that we're going to be able to afford to buy field number 7 from Mr. White. And basically what he's put soybeans into the ground, and that's really all the interest that he has in this field, other than obviously us buying the field from him and him reaping the benefits of that cash purchase. But what we have said to him is that basically, Mr. White, we cannot afford the field currently as it stands, and we don't want to take on any additional bank loan and everything. It's certainly not that high of a price. Now, if you look in front of us there, you'll see Billy Bob speeding down the highway. He is carrying the first of 10 loads of silage to the BGA. So off camera, I have basically managed to get both of those silage bunkers emptied. I got one of them filled back up again with about 200 and some odd thousand liters of grass put back in there. So that will ferment into even more silage. And I think that what we have in the silo now, which is just under 1 million liters, certainly once that ferments into silage and we put that into the silo, that will have given us probably over 1 million liters of silage that we've managed to produce this year. And well, the year's not over, so we can still cut some more grass should we basically desire to do that. Now, we're going to basically take Mr. White up on his offer, because again, that is pretty good deal. Now he's gonna pay us. Funnily enough, he's gonna pay us to basically tend to his farm or his field. And what that's really going to mean for us is that, well, he's going to provide the material. He's going to provide let's shut that noisy truck off. He's going to provide the fertilizer, but we're going to provide the equipment and obviously the manpower and everything to get her done. That's kind of how this is going to work. So as they say in the South, the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Well, we should basically have enough money after the sale of the silage that we're going to sell this year. Certainly, maybe even this round. If not this round, certainly before we officially end this year, we're going to have enough money. And if we don't, we'll take out a small loan just so that we can go ahead and get field number 7 and get that field. And so the timing of that, certainly would like to have that. Now he's coming back full. That is interesting. He is coming back full. So bear with me just 1 second, because I've probably got something wrong set up there with course point. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, back with you. Made a slight change of plans. I don't know why we could not get that to dump at the BGA, so we have switched that sell point to another buyer, and we'll see how that works out. All right, so everything, by the way, everything was set up correctly in course play, so I'm not real sure what is going on. Maybe course play doesn't like that trigger or something. But anyway, I know that this other trigger should work. It's worked before. I've sold silage at that other location before. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you all are having a splendid day, wonderful day. We have been hard at work. Let me bump the time up there. We have been hard at work. We have already put seeds into field number 10, which is our field that is going to be a canola crop in that field. And currently, at the moment, Jack is busy planting oats into one of our other fields over, let's see, he is busy planting oats down in field number 3. So again, like I said, the Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we're gonna actually have a pretty decent year this year, I do believe. I hope so anyways. That is certainly the plan. And let's get rid of some of these HUDs. Let me slow this down just a little bit, and we'll get rid of these HUDs and get a screenshot here, because we like to be able to tell the story. All right, bring that HUD up so I can kind of keep an eye on old Billy Bob, make sure that he is emptying out there at the sell point that he's supposed to be selling to, and looks like he is slowing down and getting ready to get to that sell point. So anyway, as I said before, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. This is episode number 11, if I didn't say that before. And I'm recording this episode, I'm recording this episode on Sunday, St. Patrick's Day, actually, St. Patty's Day. So, of course, you guys won't see this until probably the Friday after St. Patty's Day. Hope you all had a wonderful St. Patty's Day. My wife and I, we don't get into these types of holidays. Don't have anything against these types of holidays, but the last thing I want to do is be out and about. Of course, I think for the most part, St. Patty's Day was probably celebrated last night, Saturday night, the 16th of March, at all the bars and everything downtown. But I tell you, the last thing I really want to do or is be out and about on a holiday like this, just simply because, well, as we all know, these types of holidays are typically focused on drinking, and drinking lots and lots. And again, as I said, don't have anything against that kind of behavior, but some folks just aren't responsible enough, and you know, accidents and all that kind of stuff can happen. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, the city of Denver is becoming a pretty dangerous place, and I won't go into a whole lot of details because I probably will climb on my soapbox and might be almost forced to start talking a little bit of politics and everything. But I will just say that the city of Denver is nothing like it was when I first moved here a little over 20 years ago. Downtown, what they call Lodo, lower downtown, is well, it's just crime ridden. There's a lot of homeless folks, and you know, I don't have anything against that. I know that not every, you know, that's a situation that we all can, I think, help and everything in, but they're kind of out of control, and crime is also out of control. Gang violence is out of control, and well, there's just a lot of things that's going on that just makes that area, that part of town, a very, very dangerous place. But so there we are. So hopefully, as I've said before, hopefully we're going to be able to grab these fields that are, you know, within proximity to kind of where we are in relation to everything. That is kind of the plan anyways. And let me go ahead and shut this spray off just a little bit, and let's bring up our HUDs again so I can kind of keep an eye on money and everything. Now, we won't get paid as much in selling our silage at this other sell point, but the good news is we will get our money immediately instead of having to wait until midnight. And again, you know, this isn't necessarily about trying to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, as I used to do in Farm Sim 15 with the whole BGA concept. Man, I tell you, I used to harvest corn chaff like it was going out of style. There was a modded Corona forage harvester for Farm Sim 15, which clearly was unrealistic, 100% unrealistic. It had a capacity to it. Now, as you know, forage harvesters don't have a capacity to them. They basically process the corn, cut the corn into chaff, and blow the material through a pipe into an awaiting and very much needed tractor tipper or semi tipper, whatever is out there. But there is no capacity to it. Well, this modded Corona forage harvester for Farm Sim 15 did have a capacity. It had something like, I don't know, 60,000 liters, maybe 100,000 liters, I don't know. And of course, I will say when I first found it, I really didn't know any difference. I knew that obviously harvesters, combine harvesters, had a capacity to them. They held a certain amount of material. I didn't know that necessarily forage harvesters did not until, a little later on, until I kind of figured things out. But this thing had that capacity to it, and so it was a machine. And you could set up your course play routes, and I would basically set up two tractor tippers to run. And so if there was a delay in getting the tractor tipper back to the forage harvester, no big deal. It had that capacity to it, 60,000 liters, 100,000 liters, whatever it was. And you could just really go to town. And if you played Farm Sim 15, you might remember that the whole BGA silo bunker concept and everything, in my opinion, was a little easier on being able to dump the chaff into the bunkers. The tractors and tippers and all that stuff didn't tend to get as stuck. I mean, they would basically climb the hill of chaff without much problem at all. And of course, with 17, they changed things up just a little bit, and it became what it was. But still, nonetheless, you could really produce a lot of material, and that's what I did. I mean, just wash and repeat, and made millions and millions. So it's looking like we're getting about $20,000 per load. So if that price holds, I set him up to sell 10 loads. So we should have somewhere in the neighborhood, give or take a few $1,000s. About $200,000 off of the silage that we're going to sell. And like I said, we do have more material. We have more grass in the silo. Not very much. I'm going to hold on to it for feeding purposes at this particular point in time. Now Jack has finished seeding the field in oats, so he is done. And just bear with me a moment, and I will go and I will turn that off. And it never fails, when you're tabbing through vehicles, you almost will always tab, get a little bit too quick on the tab finger, and always tab through the vehicle that you're intending to stop at and have to go back through again. I am hoping that, of course, there's many mods that I can genuinely claim that I miss in Farm Sim 19 that we've had in Farm Sim 15 and 17, etc. And can't, the name of it escapes me because I haven't played Farm Sim 17 in many months. But the vehicle group switcher. That's it, where you could basically set up categories, and you could go like Alt 3, I think it was, or Control 3. One of those two key combinations, and go to the group 3 vehicles. So I would basically set up my small tractors as category 1, medium tractors category 2, trucks like category 5. And so if I was wanting to go to one of my trucks, I could hit the 5th category, and if I didn't hit the right one, just hit Control 5 again, and it would tab through, or it would go through those vehicles. I love that mod. That mod is super handy, just from the simple fact of keeping your vehicles organized in some kind of logical order. But I'm sure it, and I haven't looked for it. That's something I need to put on my to-do list maybe this afternoon as I'm kicked back in my recliner with my laptop. We usually, my wife and I will usually settle into a murder mystery or something on TV, maybe a Midsummer Murder, Miss Marple, some British murder mystery show on a Sunday afternoon, and because we've seen them, most of them, I kind of lends me some time to do some other things, and so I'll multitask and watch that and take advantage of doing a little mod searching maybe. So maybe I'll try to seek that mod out. If anybody knows if that mod has been made available, go ahead and chime in the comments, or head over to Discord and hit me up there and tell me if you have managed to find it. It would be nice if and again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, and I know that I've said these things many times. It would be nice if Giants would put some of this functionality into the base game, just simply because I think most everyone that plays will tend to play with a lot more equipment than they possibly would do if it were a real world scenario. And as much as I strive to be as realistic as possible, I do like to have equipment. I do enjoy having a variety of different things. I mean, I've got 2 semis on this map. I don't need 2 semis. And actually, I purchased the newer Peterbilt or Kenworth, whichever one is somewhat simulated in this game. And then that old Mac is a mod, and I tend to use the Mac more than I do the other, and I really should sell it, and maybe I will. I mean, maybe that's a way to generate a little bit of income that's not super unrealistic. I mean, we've also got the wheel loader that's parked up at the BGA. We're not going to use the BGA because of the issue with the silage bunkers, but having said that, I suppose we could sell that if we wanted to. And yeah, still maintaining $20,500 and some change per load there that Billy Bob is managing to sell. And he's selling that up to the animal supplies place, and of course they will buy just about anything from us. We've got a pretty good relationship with the owner of that company, and of course other folks are buying stuff from there, feeds and stuff like that. So we've worked out a pretty good deal, just like we've worked out this deal here with Mr. White, and I think this is gonna be a good situation for us, because it's gonna kind of, we can't necessarily say that this field is ours now. He's planted soybeans in it, and of course what we're going to do is we're going to do this work for him between now and the time that the soybean crop comes in, and then we're going to buy the field from him just before it gets ready to go to harvest, and then we'll harvest the soybeans, and then obviously we will reap the profit from the sale of the soybeans. And of course we don't expect the sale of the soybeans to pay for the field this particular year. It would be nice if it would do that, but we're not going to probably be able to expect that. But it should pay for itself in the next few years, and it just gives us a little bit more ground to do other different things, plant other types of crops, whatever we think the demands are in the community. Because I kind of like to play these roles as really doing the good deeds for the community and everything, because I just think that I'm just even in the real world. I mean, of course, I kind of switch back and forth between my role play and virtual stuff and what have you. We're going to go ahead and finish this out, because we need to do that. Even though the contract has ended, we're going to go ahead and finish this, spraying this field. But what I was saying before I saw that message is that in the real world, when Jerry Taylor, is looking at my community, my local community and everything, and of course I live in the outskirts of Denver, so I don't live in downtown Denver, thank God for that. I do occasionally have to go down to downtown, and it's just a royal pain to do that. But I do very much like the concept of keeping our money close to home, so to speak, supporting local businesses, supporting the mom and pop type establishments. Because when I was a young boy growing up in rural East Texas, that's what I remember. We didn't have chains of things, chains of stores. We didn't have, Walmart had not come into the neighborhood yet. Probably the only chain type establishments that we really had, we had a Dairy Queen, and in my opinion, every small town, at least in the state of Texas, needs a Dairy Queen. You need that for your youth. You need that for just because it's just such a integral part of the establishment and everything. So you need that. But and then of course gas stations. We had like Texaco and Exxon, something like that. But we didn't have Walmart yet. We didn't have we didn't have a Brookshire's. We didn't have those kind of things. So let me just check right quick here, and field number 6. So we will collect that. We'll collect our $15,271 from Mr. White, and that just adds to the coffers right there. So yeah. So we need to obviously let's just get out. We'll set our parking brake here. We'll get out and just see. So we're soybeans fertilized 50%. So hopefully, we'll keep an eye on this and try to get this the next time around. That way we can sell our material. And of course, over here, this field, which we purchased last year, we just put canola in the ground early this morning, and so we're at 50% here. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to be able to knock both of these second level fertilization jobs out kind of in one go. That way when we bring the New Holland sprayer up here, we can knock both of those out and call it good. So that is at least our plan. But there's our grass field. It is ready to go. And by the way, I'm running in slow growth mode. But it just seems to, everything seems to grow much quicker, especially when you've been so used to playing with seasons. And of course, there is our wheat crop that we planted just a few episodes ago. It's looking good and healthy. Of course, we'll need to treat that with a second application of fertilizer very soon as well. So this field, of course, field number 1, which is to the right, the wheat field, we're going to be double cropping that. So when it comes available to harvest, we'll get the boys. It'll probably be an all hands on deck kind of day, running the harvester, running the tractor tipper, and then coming in pretty quickly thereafter and baling the straw, and basically we want to stay out of Billy Bob's way, that is for sure. If there's anything I've learned in working with Billy Bob, is to make sure that you let him be out in front. He's not a leader, but he's definitely not a follower, if you get my drift. So anyway, we'll want to make sure that we do that. And of course, we're also going to be double cropping. Field number 10, which we have yet to plant. Field number 10 is what we just planted in canola. That field will also have soybeans on it as well as a double crop. So fingers crossed, again, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, when it comes time to harvest soybeans from field number 10, we'll be able to basically harvest both of those fields together, move the combine one time, and do both of those together. And of course, field number 7, the field that we're hoping to buy, that's a pretty nice sized field, as you may have noticed. So yeah, that's going to be a job and a half. But we're certainly capable of doing that. We've got a good crew, and as much as I like to poke fun at both Billy Bob and Jack, they really are hard, dedicated workers, and they help me out tremendously with everything that needs to be done and whatnot around the farm. So I think what we'll do is we've got just a few minutes left. I think we will just go ahead and hook up to this gooseneck here, and head up to the BGA and load up the wheel loader and bring it back to the main farm. Now, whether we sell it or not is maybe to be determined. Maybe we'll just say TBA for right now, and just kind of go from there. But it was part of the the wheel loader and, like I said, the other semi were part of the opening equipment of the farm and everything. So, you know, selling it, I suppose, is something we could certainly do. It would be something that could be done in the real world as well, certainly. But of course, I didn't necessarily add it for the sake of being able to sell it for any sort of profit, one way or the other, to drive our money and stuff up. That wasn't the intentions. It really was. The intention was to actually use it, and the purpose of the two semis. I originally was going to have, and I think I talked about this a few episodes ago, I was going to use one of the Wilson belly dump trailers. I was going to buy one of those, or maybe even have two of those. But those tippers can't be used with some of the sell points because of the incline. And so I guess I put the two semis in the map, and then put the tipper in the map, but then realized that the tipper wasn't going to work very well when I did a little bit of testing, and of course never really removed the second semi. I've used it, but I think I kind of like the Mac. I kind of like the Mac a little bit better. So that's sort of how it is. And again, I'm not real sure why it didn't sell. It was completely. His path went over the sell point there, but not sure why it didn't sell. All right, 21,000. So we are, we're still maintaining, at least 20,000 per load. So again, we're probably not going to get as much as we would have received if we would have sold at the BGA. But as I said before, we are getting that money immediately versus having to wait until after midnight. So I'm pretty sure he's got probably 5 more loads to make. So maybe another 100,000 that we're going to get out of that. So that's around 400. And let's just, for grins and giggles, one more time take a look at, see how much that field is, what we're basically needing to get. So $455,000. And again, as I said before, I'm not opposed to taking out a bank loan of maybe $50,000-$60,000, something like that. Maybe up to 100 GER on that. I'm not opposed to that because I think we could fairly easily pay that off with the crops and everything that we pull off, not only that field but our other fields as well. So let's go ahead and do our tie down so that we're safe, and we'll head back to the main farm, and I'll start wrapping things up here. I do appreciate you guys watching my videos. I really do. I do this because it's fun. It's fun to kind of narrate and talk about whatever I talk about, and I talk about a variety of stuff. I know I'm not always 100% on the role play and stuff like that. I know I do tend to ramble quite a bit, talking about various things that's going on in my life and things like that. But I know some folks enjoy hearing that because it kind of makes me sound more personable and everything, and hopefully that's the way you feel. But I appreciate it. I enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy seeing that they're being watched and enjoyed, and I also enjoy helping people. That's really the real big thing. That's kind of why I do this, is really to help people, and also for my own ability of learning things. FarmSim 19 was quite new to me because of the fact that it was, I was delayed a week in getting to it because of my Thanksgiving travel, and then I sort of was burned out and everything as well, and just wasn't really impressed with the early stages of 19, and so I kind of set it aside and didn't really play, and my wife wasn't feeling well, and I had other things going on at work, and then I got sick and wasn't feeling well, and so needless to say, now it's really coming into its prime. There's been some very decent mods that have been released, some things that are really helping with the whole gameplay and all of that kind of stuff. And so yeah, so it's been something that has just taken a little while for me to get my interest in everything in. And so yeah, we need to watch out because he's going to come flying around that corner in just a minute, and who knows where he's looking at the time. He may be looking, well, he waved at us, but so he at least did see us, but again, kind of who knows what's going on. So I don't know, but I'll make a decision as to whether or not we're going to sell this wheel loader or not. I wanted to have it at the BGA because I was kind of hoping that eventually Courseplay would add the functions, the bucket functions and everything in. That may still be a while down the road. So if we don't get to use something like this on this map, I'm sure that in time, once Courseplay matures a little bit, we'll certainly be able to see some of that functionality and set that stuff up here on this map as well. But I'll tell you, that conveyor belt of Stevie, I can't say enough good things about that. And if you haven't used it, then certainly you wanna check that out, and you'll find that on my mod spreadsheet. Just one other thing, just to say, make sure you go over and check out my good friend Eustace Pharmer and Duckzorly Gaming their videos over on YouTube, and also head over and join our Simulation Gaming Society Discord channel, where we all help each other and share knowledge that we learn, that we don't know, sometimes that we pretend to know over there, and just have a lot of good fun doing that. So again, without further ado, I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you for coming and watching this video. I really do appreciate it. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.